Even though Gzik comes from a region no one in my family is from, I've been eating it since early childhood. My mum would use it as a spread for delicious sandwiches. This is exactly what I'm preparing today. The full recipe, along with additional information and alternative ingredients, can be found on the blog. Gzik is essentially quark mixed with soured cream and seasoned with salt. I will be using 2 additional ingredients, probably the most common ones: spring onions and radishes. I begin by placing my homemade quark in a bowl. Traditionally, it should be made very smooth by grinding it in a meat grinder. I omit this step because my quark is relatively smooth to begin with. Also, I don't really mind a slightly grainy structure. I then add some soured cream. I'm using a light cream with only 12% fat content, but 18% or even slightly above 20% works fine as well. Since I don't exactly know how much cream I'm going to need, I eyeball an initial amount. I can always add more. Next comes the salt. I like my Gzik rather salty, so I use quite a lot. However, when preparing the dish for my family, I tend to cut down on the salt. This is entirely to taste, so I will be adding more later. I combine the ingredients using a fork. It takes a minute or 2. Then I'm able to assess the consistency. Mine is perfect to work as a sandwich spread, so I don't need more soured cream. I have a taste to check for saltiness, and sure enough, I add some more. I mix the salt in. I taste my Gzik again, and there's sufficient salt, so I can move on to preparing the vegetables. First come the radishes. When I'm feeling lazy, I just grate them, but today I'm slicing them with a knife. I cut off the root and the leaves, then cut the radish in half. I slice each half as thinly as I can. Sometimes, when the radishes are large, I chop them instead. Large slices make the Gzik more difficult to spread over a slice of bread. I move on to slicing the spring onions. I cut off the dried out tips if necessary. Then I slice the onions thinly and toss them in the bowl with the remaining ingredients. Finally, it's time to give everything one last mix to evenly distribute the vegetables. this is what the finished Gzik looks like. All I need to do now is put it on some bread. I'm using some homemade wholemeal rye sourdough bread, though white bread would have worked fine as well. I like to put a thick layer of Gzik on my bread slices. Time for a taste. It's notably salty, but with a delicious sour background. The consistency is creamy, but with a wonderful crunch from the vegetables. Simply irresistible.